Hello and welcome to another edition of the ASCA Weekly Podcast. I am your host, Charles Fallon, back in here with another edition of what I just said. I'm not saying it again like I did last week. Anyways, we got a ton of stuff to cover this week. Um, from a pretty hectic weekend at the streets of Computerville, and what a battle we had between two of the best drivers in the sport right now. No other way to put it. Diego Orkedi and Todd Kidd, you could argue the two best drivers in the sport right now. Fantastic battle those two put on for the win at the streets of Computerville. We got to talk about Diego's historic victory, coming out victorious in that scrap with Kidd. It ties him with Randall Woods for third on the all-time wins list. We got a rookie who is having a fantastic start to this season, looking like an early season championship contender at this rate. We got another rookie we need to talk about, 18 years old. We said he was going to be the next big thing, and so far that prediction seems to be panning out, as he finally broke through this weekend. We also got to talk about sweepstakes for another prized free agent. You all know who it is by now. Chris Barrymore declines his driver option. We're going to talk about all the fallout from that. Where does he go in 2026? Who replaces him in 2026? It's going to be fun. And then we're going to preview the West Virginia weekend, the first high speed, aero sensitive track of the campaign. We're going to learn a lot about who are championship contenders and who are championship pretenders at this stage of the game. But first off, before we get into it, let's shout out the sports premier partners. Rowdy Energy, you already know the drill. Click the link in bio. Go get yourself Rowdy Energy to help you stay awake throughout this podcast episode. Shout out to them. They got so many good flavors available. You already know how it goes for them, Rowdy Energy. And then Circle B Diecast / Plan B Sales. Use coupon code ASCA for free shipping on any orders, $20 or more. I don't know why you wouldn't want to take advantage of that. If you want to get a replica diecast, the one that Diego Orkedi just used to score his historic 26th career victory. Sorry about that. If you want to use a replica diecast of the one that Todd Kidd used to win back-to-back Ajax 200s, head on over to Circle B Diecast. Plan B sales and cop yourself one. Use free shipping code ASCA for any orders $20 or more inside the U.S. only. So once again, shout out Rowdy Energy, shout out Circle B Diecast, and yeah, let's get back into it. So let's talk about that battle from that race last Saturday, I should say. And man, I mean, these are two of the best drivers in the sport right now going at it. It felt like a heavyweight fight. It really did. And first off, I just want to say the racing at the Streets of Computerville, I think, was the best it's ever been. I don't know what got into the drivers this week, but I saw there were so many more passes around the outside, a lot less mistakes, a lot less lockups. And I know that in this day and age, these guys, they have dedicated simulators, they have real-time data where they can see, get a clear look at tire performance and um, telemetry and, you know, hey, you need to attack this corner more. You need to back off here. You'll go faster. They have so much more data than they did a decade ago in season zero, season one. That and obviously the cars are much more technologically advanced, especially now that it's not a they have downforce limits, but you're allowed to apply them wherever you want to on your car. So, with all that in mind, the cars are more technologically advanced. The teams have more telemetry. They have more data to look at. The drivers overall are better at road racing. There's so many good road racers at the cup level of the sport right now. I mean, I can try to list them off right now. You look at Diego Orkedi, Todd Kidd, right up there battling. Nick Orkedi, obviously the modern era road racing wins leader. Shade Park, can't forget about him. He's been going off recently. Obviously had a rough race on Saturday, but still incredible road racer. Colin Ward just moved up to the Cup Series. Incredible road racer in his own right. Um, yeah, so that's just five right there. How about our pole sitter, Lucas Sambero, led the most laps. Now that he's in a car that can compete, he's an incredible road racer. Jared Ayers, I know he got wrecked out of the race, but he's won the Suburban Grand Prix before. Randall Woods, we didn't even mention him. I mean, he's got 3 road racing victories, twice coming, 3 times at the Streets Computerville in the last decade. So obviously he knows what he's doing. He's got 26 victories. Bryn Reddard is a really underrated road racer as well. He's running inside the top 10 throughout the day and just got taken out in Jack Alow's mess. Another guy, really good road racer. Laquan Scranton, another guy, really good road racer. Ryan Dixon, Tommy Woods. There's so many drivers that I can name that are just incredible road racing talents in the sport these days. And it's so much more than it was, I would say, even 5-10 years ago. Specifically, I would say about 5 years ago, because when you went to a road course 5 years ago, you knew it was going to be Randall Woods or Nick Orkedi coming out victorious. Maybe Diego on the odd day. But now there are 10, I would say about 10, 12 drivers who could win on any given road race. Like, the competition is just that stiff. And that's what makes what Shane Park had done, his 5 straight top 2 finishes on road courses. It just makes that so much more impressive. Like, again, he's just an incredible talent. And but anyways, back to this road racing duel before I got off on a tangent. This championship battle, if it is truly between Orkidi and Kidd, and I really hope that it is, it's going to be epic. We already talked about it's the final year of the new regs, and I think that the current regs, I should say, and I think that this race proved that Orkidi Rose Racing, Rodney Woods Motorsports, they're not backing off in 2025. No, they're still all in. They are all in competing for a championship this year. They want it. Diego wants that drive for 5. Todd Kidd wants that first title. And then you look at their ages. Diego's 34, Todd Kidd 29. So they're both still in the prime of their career. I get Diego's on like the older side. Diego knows that his championship window could be closing soon. Although if there's anyone that could still be competing at a high level at 36, 37, 38 years old, it'd be Diego, of all people, 4-time champion, for God's sakes. But he knows that Father Time is starting to catch up with him. This is probably, the best he's going to get. He's got all that experience. Now he's got all this new finesse. Now that he's finally been able to wrangle in his temper a bit. Like, this final form of Diego is going to be so tough to beat for Todd Kidd. But I think if there's anyone that can beat him, it is going to be a Todd Kidd. We know how close he has come the past 5 years. He's been his top 3 in points, 3rd in points 4 out of the last 5 years, 2nd in 2023. Like, he has been so close to that first championship. Ronnie Woods Motorsports as a whole has not won a championship since 2017 with now ASCA Hall of Famer Jimmy Hood. So they are going to go all in. They see a window that has opened. They know they need to take advantage of it. We don't know who's going to be good in 2026. It could be Chico Bound Motorsports, for God's sakes, if they hit on the turbo hybrid engines. That's just where we stand right now. So, like, seeing these two, Orkidi and Kidd, go all out, go all in for this championship, I think it's going to be such a titanic battle. And, in terms of guys who could make it interesting. Maybe Colin Ward, if he just has truly breakout campaign, maybe he can assert himself through the ranks. But I think everyone else, they're already too far behind because Todd Kidd is just setting a blistering pace right now. But once again, focusing on that battle. Every time I talk about the battle, I get off on a tangent talking about some other stuff. And I guess it's a podcast, and that's what we're supposed to be doing here. But just focusing on that battle and the move that Orkedi was able to pull off. Because you saw Orkedi was right on Kidd's bumper, down into turn one. And then, I mean, yeah, they get through turns one. It's the quick left right hander through there, that little kink section. And obviously, you got to float the cars high so you can get a wide arc heading down into the hairpin. And Kidd was preparing for that. He did everything right there. He has to take the wide arc if he wants to keep Diego at bay. But Diego said, screw the wide arc. I'm just going to shortcut that corner. And he just dives low as soon as Kidd makes that arc. Cheeky move from Orkedi, and he got it done, got the lead. The rest is history. He drove off and left him. And that is Diego's third road racing victory, which ties him with Randall Woods for second in the modern era in terms of road racing victories. And now he is tied for third all time on the wins list with Randall Woods. We just talked about that. It's incredible, man. These are two living legends still active, and they're closing in on the end of the road. Woods is obviously 3 years older. He's 37. Having a meh start to the new year. Obviously wrecked out of the Ajax 200 and then was really a non-factor, surprisingly, throughout most of the day. He only worked his way up to seventh at the end, and a lot of that was due to attrition, thanks to a couple accidents that happened. One happened directly behind him. The other one happened directly in front of him, and that helped him out. But, yeah. So Woods was kind of a non-factor. The jury's still out on how he's going to perform this year. We really don't know yet. He could be back to his normal championship form. It is an odd number year after all. So if he's gonna pick it up and make a title run at it, it would be this year. But it's gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be interesting to see who is gonna be able to get to 32 first. I don't think Randall Woods is going to get there, honestly. I really don't. I think Orkedi very well could. I think Orkedi, at the pace that he's on, he's only 34 years old. Think about that. Like, Orkedi is only 34. Woods is 37. And Orkedi is already at 26. I don't see a scenario where Diego doesn't end his career. As long as nothing catastrophic happens, or he doesn't just completely fall off a cliff after the season, I don't see a scenario where Diego doesn't end his career as the Cup Series all-time wins leader. And that, I think, would certainly cement him as GOAT status. I think he's already reached GOAT status as is with his 4 championships in the modern era, the ultra-competitive modern era. I mean, the competition level right now is just miles above where it was even 10 years ago, let alone where Ronnie Woods and CJ Barrymore and Caleb Henderson and all those guys are going at it. What Orkedi has done in that 10-year stretch and what he continues to do today is just insane. It's insane to me. It really is. It's insane. And bravo to that 22 team. Bravo to Orkedi Bros Racing. Bravo to Nick Orkedi. Let's give a call to him as well. Really started out the day rough. I think he got passed by Randall Woods for 10th in the early going, so he dropped outside the top 10. Mind you, this is a guy that's won 3 times at the States Computerville in his career, tied for Randall Woods for the most all time. But he bounced back. He got some help thanks to Jack Alaus taking out Jared Ayers and Brett Renard. But, he used that to his advantage, got a really solid restart, got underneath Lucas Sambear, and then that got him 4th. And then with a absolutely stonking move on Colin Ward around the outside entering the final quarter. I've never seen that. I've seen up the inside into the final corner, but around the outside in the final corner, that's next level stuff, man. It really is. And it's a shame that that is probably the last time we're going to see Nick race on the Shoots Computerville, because he's magical around there. He really is. And it was so fun watching him go to work one final time. And I hope that the fans really cherish what they saw, because obviously we're entering the golden age of road races with so many guys that are able to make left and right turns at such a high level, with the Parks and the Scrantons and even the kids. Diego is still around competing at a high level. We know that. We got Sam Bear. We still got Dixon. We still got Ward coming up through the ranks. Like, there's so many guys now. But, Nick was one of a kind. When he was on his game, he was incredibly tough to beat. He was like a Dan Rogers at these road courses. So that's going to be a shame not seeing him on the grid next year, Nick Orkedi, competing in the Subway Grand Prix, and specifically at the Amp Energy 200 at the Michigan Road Course. That one is really going to be a tough one to watch, because he used to be the king of that track. But hey, we're coming up on that way, way, way down the line, in like a month. Down the line, in quotation marks, like a month. That month is gonna fly by like that. But regardless, yeah, just incredible. Orkedi Bros Racing staying on their game. 1-3-8 finish for the team. Again, they look like the team to beat this year. And the two drivers that have made their mark this season with victories, Todd Kidd, Diego Orkedi, those are the two I'm pinpointing and saying, okay, these two have already established themselves as championship favorites. If a Shane Park, if a Laquan Scranton, if a Cameron Atwood, if a Bryn Renner, if a Greg Healy, if any of those guys want to get their name into the mix, they're going to need to step their game up and basically win West Virginia. That's what they need to do. They need to win West Virginia, or you need to go out and dominate the race, because Kidd and Orkedi have already stamped their marks. They're ready to go, and they don't care who they leave in the dust. They're ready to go. So, that's where we're at right now. But enough talk about that. How about we talk about a couple rookie sensations? We'll start off at the Cup level. Colin Ward. All this guy does is win. We talked about that numerous times on here. But now all he does is finish in the top 5. How about a 3rd and 4th place finish to kick off his rookie campaign? Are you kidding me, Colin Ward? Like, we knew he was going to be good, but did anyone think he would be this good right out the gate? I mean, man, I know. We talked about this last year, that the new schedule really, really, really suits him. Obviously, he's incredible at his home track, Ajax Super Speedway, and he proved that again this year, leading 25 laps, qualifying on pole, finishing 3rd. But again, then you go to a road course, we all know how incredible he is there. He finishes 4th, and winning there in the Craftsman Series is one thing, but then going out and competing with the big boys in a big stage, in a big way, is another. And Ward has done that in the opening 2 weeks of the new year. So bravo to him. You could say, those are his tracks. He's got an advantage there, blah, 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 blah. It's a 3rd and 4th place finish, and he's 2nd in points right now. Numbers don't lie, okay? Like, you can take your bias out of it. The numbers do not lie. Colin Ward is on it to kick off the new year. No denying that. No denying it at all. And let's also talk about another rookie, a Craftsman Series rookie, Tony Del Val II. We talked about this kid before on the podcast, but 18 years old, man. 18 years of age. Um, he is special, man. In just his sixth start, he reaches victory lane in a car on a team, um, in a car that was on a 70 race winless route. Michael White Racing as a whole only won one race in the entire ASCA last season. Del Val's already got their first win of the season this year. And obviously, he was aided by Bryn Reddard and Jack Alow's battling for the lead there. That certainly helped. The C's partied. He took the lead. But after that, there is a reason why no driver in ASCA history had ever scored their first win at the Streets Computerville. Not Laquan Scranton, not Colin Ward, not Shane Park. None of these guys had done it until Del Val did on Friday, because it is such a technical track. Experience matters so much on a street circuit like that, where the margins for error are so slim. We saw it numerous times throughout the weekend. We saw, Del Val's predecessor, Tommy Woods, get in trouble in the Cup race for the same reasons. The margins for error are so slim, and he runs right into the back of Laquan Scranton and takes them both out of the race like 8 laps in the Cup race. That is, so it's really interesting. For Del Val, like the haters, they gotta take the L here. This kid is the real deal. He's leading the class of Series D, and he's by 13 points right now. He is the favorite for the championship right now. I don't think there's any questions about that. I can't wait to see him race the rest of the year. And by Michael White Racing, please, please, please do not let this kid go. Please don't. You made that mistake with Ryan Dixon. You made that mistake with Dan Rogers. You made that mistake with Colin Ward. Please, please, please do not screw this one up. You have a generational talent on your hands. Do not let him walk out of that door under any circumstance. I don't care how much money you have to pay him. You got to keep him on the team. No ifs, ands, or buts. Anyways, let's get to silly season. And so it begins, the 2026 silly season storylines. This year, the major storyline of them all is the Chris Barrymore Sweepstakes. We all saw this one coming about a month ago, I would say. That's why I wrote an article in the offseason about, okay, where is Chris Barrymore going to end up? But obviously, in case you've been living under a rock and you missed the news, Chris Barrymore has declined his driver option. He will not be returning to CJ Barrymore Racing or the number 21 team in 2026. And I think that this is a good move for both parties. I think that the past 2 seasons and really the start to this year have proven that Chris's partnership with his father's team has gotten stale. It really has. They are not even close to championship contenders. And when you're paying a guy $11 million a season, you want him to be up there competing with guys that are making $10 million and $12 million a year, Diego Orkedi and Todd Kidd. You want him in that elite driver echelon. And Barrymore's is not even close to it right now. Not even close. So I think for CJ Barrymore Racing, they're more than happy to let him walk. Obviously, it's CJ's son that's leaving the team, and Barrymore has won 5 races there. He's won an over 200 there. He's won a Craftsman Series championship. He was thought to be the next big thing. But let's face it, we're 9 years into his Cup career, and he's not. He's just not that dude. And now, I'm not saying that he can't become that dude if he gets a fresh start on the right team. I think he certainly can. I think we know that the talent is there. but for whatever reason, it has just not clicked in that number 21, and especially has not clicked anywhere near as well as it has for Cameron Atwood when he hopped into the Barrymore Racing equipment, won 5 races and a title. And overall, in the past 3 seasons, Atwood has won 8 races and a championship, of course. Barrymore, on the other hand, has won one race, while his teammate has won 8. So, if that kind of indicates anything to you, I think that a fresh start was certainly needed for Barrymore and for this number 21 team. So now, first off, let's talk about the interesting option, the least talked about option. Who's going to replace Barrymore in the number 21? I think we begin by looking at the Ford development program. You obviously look at Graham Darty. Where is he going to end up? I think that we already know that the number 2 at Orkedi Racing is opened up. Could he go there? Maybe. Could he go to the 21? Maybe. We'll see. Ian Adande, another guy who I think is proving that he is cup ready. He got off to a slow start last year. Obviously, part of that was due to that massive hit he suffered at West Virginia that nearly knocked him out of commission. Probably would have for a week at least if it wasn't for the off week that the Craftsman Series luckily had after that Tudor's Biscuit World 100. But nearly knocked out of commission. It took him a while to kind of adjust, but towards the end of the season, he was on it, and he wins at San Diego and finishes top 5 in points. I think Ian Adande is certainly an option to drive the number 21 for next season. Maybe they take a swing at an Evan Stevens type. I don't know. Stevens has really not shown much in the 60. He's also 25 years old. I don't really think that's an option. Then when it comes to other teams, where do you look? Do you look at a Dustin Adams? Where does he go at Michael White Racing? Where does he fit in? You obviously know that Tony Del Valle is going to be that dude at Michael White Racing, so where does he fit in? You look at Aiden Romo. We'll see how the things go with Laquan Scranton, but maybe he could be an option. And then when we look at upcoming free agents, could Ross Jackson be an option for the number 21? Still no news on any new contract negotiations or anything for Jackson with Ronnie Woods Motorsports. So, we'll see on that front. This is going to be very interesting to see how it's all going to shake out. And I honestly don't know how it's going to shake out at this point. But I think the thing that we all want to know is, where is Chris Barrymore going to end up now? Because you thought the Bryn Renard Sweepstakes was something for a 33-year-old driver with 8 Cup wins. We're now talking about a driver who will be 28 next year with 5 Cup wins, a Craftsman Series championship, an all-star race victory. He is an Northern 200 winner. Like, Barrymore has proven that he has talent. He just needs the right situation. He needs the right people around him to really help him reach his true potential, because he has shown his true potential before. We've seen it numerous times. He is a special driver behind the wheel in the right spots, but he needs help. So, I do look at Michael White Racing as an option if they don't bring back Braden Bennett. I look at Orkedi Racing as an option to replace Nick Orkedi in the number 2. Maybe if they don't bring back Carson Schmidt in the 12, but I'm hearing that they're pretty close to an extension for Schmidt, so I don't foresee that happening. I could see Barrymore to the 2, though, for sure. I look at Flores Motorsports. Maybe they're having Byers and Morris on Tommy Woods. I don't know. They could go there. There's a bunch of different places that he could end up. Maybe Taylor Motorsports opens a second car. They bring in Chris Barrymore, Lester and Barrymore at that team. Oh my goodness. That would be something. he could go anywhere at this point. And, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the Barrymore Sweepstakes plays out because, again, if you thought Renner broke the bank with his new deal, Barrymore most certainly is going to break the bank with his. I think he'll easily be the highest paid driver in the Cup Series next season. Again, this is a guy who's not even 30 yet. He's got another couple years before he hits 30. And even still, like, he is in the prime of his career. This year's obviously going to be a lame duck season. So I wouldn't put too much stock into what he does and his statistics and all that other stuff. But like, you were getting a guy still in the prime of his career, still with the hunger to compete for a championship. We'll see where he ends up, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. And now we are onward to the first true litmus test of the 2025 campaign. As I say, the real season starts at West Virginia. And that's nothing against Ajax. That's nothing against specifically the streets of Computerville. Great track, streets of Computerville. Certainly a tricky one. But you got you got a plate race and you got a road course. Obviously, those make up 4 races on the schedule. That's a quarter of the calendar. I'm not going to deny its value and its impact. But the other 12 races are downforce tracks, ovals, short tracks, high-speed aero-sensitive tracks. You got your plate race and road course, that's 4. You got your short tracks, that's 4. You got your high-speed aero-sensitive tracks, that's 4. And then you got 4 kind of unique circuits. In the Stone Yard, you got Denver. Now you have Utah. That's going to be a wild one in a bit. And the other one slips my mind. Oh, yeah, the other race at the Stone Yard, the Northern 200. That's right. So that's your real calendar right now. And like, this weekend is going to matter a lot. We're going to really get to see, okay, Orkedi and Kidd the real deal, or were they just kind of capping? I certainly think Orkedi is going to show up. We know Orkedi was raced against the last 3 races at West Virginia. Orkedi has won 2 of the last 3. Diego, that is. And Nick is certainly due for a win at West Virginia. He's ran so well here throughout his career. I can't believe he hasn't won at West Virginia yet, honestly. We just talked about Chris Barrymore. He's won at West Virginia before, back in 2022. He could be a threat. Led the most laps in 2021 and 2023 as well. Finished top 5 here in 2024. So he could be a threat. Todd Kidd, though, he has won the Little General 200 as well. How ironic. Kidd and Orkedi, your 2 most recent Little General 200 winners. Again, they crop up again and again and again. And don't be shocked if that's your top 2 throughout this race as well. They're just they are on it this year. They've already proved that with their battle last week. I think they're going to be right up there competing for victory again at West Virginia, and they're going to be doing that throughout the rest of the campaign. They're on it this year. That's just where we're at right now. But when it comes to the rest of the competition, it's going to be a big week for guys like a Cameron Atwood, a Bryn Renner, a Laquan Scranton. These are guys way deep in the standings. They need to bounce back. They need a good run. They really do. Renner has DNF'd out of both races. Scranton obviously DNF'd last week thanks to Tommy Woods. And then Atwood DNF'd in the Ajax 200 and had a mediocre outing at the streets computer bowl. Was a non-factor all day. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. But like I said, I think for the Craftsman race, it's going to be interesting as well to see, okay, who's got anything for Tony Del Valle II? Graham Darty, where are you at? You're 10th in points right now. You're 21 back. You're heading to your home track. You are the defending winner there in the 10 to 125. If you want to go back to back this season, you need to win this race. No ifs, ands, or buts. You need to win, or you need to be right up there dominating. That's just where we're at right now. You're 21 back, 2 races in. Like, you got to dig yourself out of this hole quickly and in a hurry, because Doval is out there. He's going to be gone if Darty and some of these other championship contenders like Donde and these other guys, if they don't get a move on, Doval is going to be gone. We know he's the real deal, and we know he's probably going to show up again on Friday. So my picks for this week, I'm aware Chris Barrymore is entered in the Craftsman race on Friday, so that's who I'm picking. Chris Barrymore, again, Craftsman Series race winner. He won this race last year. He's won the Craftsman Series 15 times. Why would I not pick Barrymore to win? That one's pretty self-explanatory. As for the Cup race, like I said, I think it's going to be between Kidd and Orkedi. Again, these two are just, right now, they seem like they're on it this season. And Orkedi Race has won the last 3 times at West Virginia. Why not make that 4? I got Diego Orkedi winning the Little General 200 again this weekend. So that's a wrap for this edition of the ASCA Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Fallon, signing out once again, though. Before I sign out, thank you to Rowdy Energy and Circle B Diecast Plan B Sales. Be sure to use coupon code ASCA for free shipping on any orders, $20 and more. And yeah, this is Charles Fallon signing out. We'll see you after West Virginia.